Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show. Today, have I got a stack of stuff we got to talk about. Of course, there's some new information on the debate that we've got to cover. But beyond that, there's some information about what the Michigan Supreme Court's doing with the RFK ballot, the Chinese spy caught in the governor's mansion in New York, and what's the deal with the Haitians eating cats. And we actually got some facts on that. But before I go there, you know, I do these long days. Some days can be 12, 13, 14-hour days. Some of you are concerned about me. I do late night. I travel around the world. It's like, you know, Lance, do you ever sleep? Do you know my secret is? Like, I'm taking a break now for like 15 minutes. And I've got my Mike Lindell pillow. This is the 2.0 pillow. This is in the back closet back there. I got a little cot. And this one is a special, like, heat diffusion field, so that it doesn't kind of heat up on you. It just it disperses, so it's a cool, I like the cool feel of that. It's just like I've got the thick, the bathrobe. Now, I'm at the office here, but I use this as a blanket. The bathrobe is so heavy, the pillow, I'm an actual user of the Mike Lindell products. Anything I talk about, I use. And those slippers, I was an early adopter to the fact that those slippers are solid on the bottom. You can wear them outside. I've been caught actually wearing them going to the post office and stuff. I look like one of those mafia bosses. I don't wear a bathrobe, but I do wear the slippers. Anyway, I want you to be able to get a special. Mike has extra right now, he told me. You can get it for only $14.98. Use, catch this, the promo code is Lance. MyPillow.com/Lance. MyPillow.com/Lance. And promo code Lance. And get those $14.98 pillows. And, by the way, the Giza sheets. That's the only thing I don't have. That's next on my list, the Giza sheets. Let's get into today's show. How wildly radical to the left of Bernie Sanders is the Marxist Kamala, and what a seduction of the mind of America by the collusion of occult powers operating to do a makeover on her, to put her into office. And then once she's in office, I think America will discover that she's presiding over the destruction of the United States. May that not happen. Harris told the ACLU in 2019 that she not only supports cutting funds to ICE for getting gangs and dangerous Venezuelan gangs and MS-13 out of the country, but she thinks that we should be pushing transgender transition surgery at taxpayer expense to detain migrants so that they can come here and change their sex and have it paid for by the American taxpayer. These are the things you need to know. By the way, the source of that is CNN. That's wild that article came out of CNN, because I think they're not putting that stuff out these days. I want to go into what's happening in the world outside of our somewhat myopic, narcissistic obsession with us. There is a world out there. Let's come back to us. In New York, two governors have suddenly discovered they had a spy from communist China working on their staff. I don't think we take... Russia's not your enemy, folks. Russia's actually a great country. China is dangerous. We're always chasing the wrong target. A former top aide who worked for two New York governors is facing charges because they're actually an agent for the Communist Party. This former aide to New York Governor Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo had this woman who is now facing 10 criminal counts for money laundering, visa fraud. She interrupted and manipulated New York's ability to meet with the Taiwanese government at all points. She had her state's policy messaging recrafted to benefit communist China. She's been doing it for over a decade. The chauffeur for Feinstein, the chauffeur for Senator Feinstein on the American, Defense Contracting Committee, the limo driver was actually hacking all the conversations and computers and phone records of Feinstein. He was a Communist Party limo driver. that embedded himself. We have no idea, folks, how serious these people are about taking us down. She received millions of dollars in Chinese kickbacks. They splurged on multi-million-dollar homes in Hawaii and Long Island. Got their 2024 Ferrari. And I mean, I don't want to be trivial here, but there's 16 different occasions when they got Nanjing-style salted duck specially prepared by their own personal chef of a Chinese government official who would come to their house to prepare for them. And this is my segue into your animal eating Haitian.
Oh, is that what this is?
Yeah, so we've got they're having salted duck. What I'm saying to you folks is, how many communist Chinese agents are in the Democratic Party right now?
I thought you were getting hungry. I wasn't sure. Like, it's almost lunchtime. And I'm like, what are we talking about?
But I want to go to the more... Oh, Kash Patel, by the way, believes that Kamala Harris is going to be installed as president before the election.
Really?
This is a no-nonsense guy, folks. He was the former Department of Defense Chief of Staff and the Deputy Director of National Intelligence under Donald Trump. Kash Patel says that Harris will be made commander-in-chief to add to the gravitas and prestige and the official acceptance of America calling her President Harris. So that it's almost like the shoehorn into the transition to the new. And that once in office, she will be able to pardon Biden and Hunter for the political, hit job that the Republicans were doing. There will be no pardoning of Trump, however. They'll be going after him for sentencing because no one is above the law. This is going to incite, I think, tremendous potential domestic unrest.
Wow. When
that happens. But he believes Kamala Harris is going to be installed as president before the election. The Michigan Supreme Court, by the way, ordered RFK Jr., he has to stay on the ballot even though he's not running because they want to pull away any votes they can from Trump. And so they're leaving him on the ballot. Now, talk to me about what's happening with the animals and the memes, because I was treating it with disdain, but I understand this is trending news.
Well, it's just trending socially. It's like Mercedes millennial update, I guess. But anyways, in the debate, Trump had mentioned that these illegal immigrants are murdering animals, right? The Venezuelans are coming up. The Haitians, they're like killing ducks in the park and chopping their heads off. And so he had made reference to it. Obviously, the ABC moderator is like, he gets done saying, we checked, and that's not happening. And then it just erupts online where people are sharing, like Charlie sharing the videos, people carrying like Canadian geese, dead Canadian geese around. I mean, I've seen so many videos of people saving, birds from like, hey, what are you doing with that? I saw one lady take almost like a seagull back from a migrant. And so anyways, it's just going viral. And so right after the debate, we get all of these great memes. So I don't know if the team wants to put them out. No one ate your cats when I was president. President Trump's holding up. It looks like he just signed a bill. Do a couple more, guys. So we've got, yes, let's skip that one. 0 days without eating pets in Ohio. And this is what a time to be alive with AI. And so now you can just type in, like into AI, baby cat with a MAGA hat on running away from migrants, which is what this was with knives out because they want to eat this cat. Okay, keep going. Here's one this isn't actually a billboard. This is a real billboard in Arizona. This is not AI. It's little kittens dressed up as cows. Think of like a, for the people on the podcast, think of like a Chick-fil-A sign. And it says, eat less kittens, vote Republican. And so there's all sorts of memes like this just blowing up. I mean, they're like cats holding up little signs that say vote for Trump. But it just underscores, here's what I want to say if you come back. What I want to say is oftentimes President Trump, during a debate, makes comments like this in passing. He's ridiculed and mocked for it at the time by the left. Oh, nobody's eating cats, nobody's eating animals, nobody's eating these ducks. And then lo and behold, it's almost like God's like, oh, really? And you get a ton of news articles. So believe me, it's already happening, and they lied that it's not happening. And here you go. And I think we'll get even more of it. The other thing, Lance, the thing that I mean about President Trump is that he's almost passively prophetic. The thing that I took away from the debate that was most alarming for me was he said, if Kamala Harris gets elected, Israel will not exist in 3 years. And I was like, oh God, I hope that that's not true. But listen, when he does these debates, Lance, like when he's doing the debate with Biden back in 2020, he would make comments like this in passing that he's proved right on time and time again. The other thing that stood out to me is Kamala said, if he gets elected, then the economy will crash. And I thought, oh, see, this is stuff we talk about, Lance. We talk like we know, oh, it's hanging on by a thread. But will they, quote unquote, whoever they are, like the elites that oversee, you know, national currency banks, things like that, are they going to deliberately crash the economy and make Trump's life even harder for the first year and a half of his administration to make it where he can't really do anything? So anyways, those were some of my takeaways that were a little alarming to me, just on a spiritual prophetic side.
Well, I think that's all very valuable. Thank you for sharing that. I think that the indicators are that there's going to be a financial adjustment coming. I mean, if you're following the news on that, the debt situation, the inflation problem in America looks like it's going to hit whoever is in the White House. And I agree that if Trump is in, they will exacerbate it to make it a socially unrest issue. What's dangerous about a financial crisis with our present Marxist lack of awareness in America is it empowers the government, as we saw with COVID, to come up with solutions that take away the freedom of the states, the sovereignty of the states.
100%.
And it's kind of like a forced vaccine. Imagine if you don't have a vaccine, then you can't get into the lines for the food distribution or for the whatever they're going to be doing. So socialism thrives on chaos because it takes over more power at a central level. I did not get a chance today to do what I wanted to do. We'll pick it up in another segment. But the Israeli Defense League actually released the video of the Gaza tunnel. I was on a broadcast last night with David Friedman, the ambassador to Israel under Trump. And I was so moved. He was so enraged. He said the 6 hostages that were executed by Hamas were underground, virtually almost buried alive during their imprisonment, 65 feet underground. No air to breathe. That's where they went to the bathroom. That's where they ate, wearing the same clothes for over a year, virtually. It's only 4 feet high there, so you can't stand up. It's literally like putting someone in a grave. And then someone went down at the end and killed them. I would say that if more people understood the barbaric, satanic state of mind that Hamas represents in what it's doing to the hostages, I could envision a warning being given to release them all, or we are going to go full tilt into every tunnel and every nook and cranny, and there will be casualties. The citizens that are there are being used as human shields. Get away from them, get out. We're going to give you safe passage. We're going to create a corridor for your exodus, but we're going in, and we're going to take Hamas out. I really do believe that there's a story to tell here that I can't believe I had to hear last night. 65 feet underground, 4 feet space to stand up in, 1.5 feet of space, I guess, to be shoved into, and then executed. My God, I hate to leave you on that note, but Ambassador Friedman justifiably said the information is outrageous. Did you hear that, by the way? Have you heard any of that? Kamala Harris would not even meet with Netanyahu. She deprived him of the dignity of a meeting in Washington because she hates Israel. However, I want to give you this promise to me, give you a bit of fresh air out of the Bible. I will set your prisoners free from the waterless pit. Return to the stronghold, prisoners of hope, because today I'm declaring I will restore double to you for what you've lost. And I really do believe that if we're faithful to what God is telling us to do, we're going to become instruments of seeing restoration and rebuilding in the earth, because the world needs a testimony of what the age to come looks like. And the kingdom of God is a testimony. It doesn't promise we take everything over. It promises you're a light in a dark place. Let's let that light shine. When we come back, we have a special guest that's going to tell you how you can let your light shine and alter the course of this election. You don't want to miss his final segment.
Looks like you've been sleeping well,
Megan, he's back. The My Pillow guy.
and you're looking good.
Still feeling good.
Well, just when you thought it couldn't get any better, we've got the best pillow ever, My Pillow 2.0. When I invented My Pillow, it had everything you'd ever want in a pillow. Well, now there's new technology that makes it even better. My Pillow 2.0 has my patented fill combined with a cooling fabric with temperature regulating thread. My Pillow 2.0 is truly the next generation of My Pillow.
Now's the time to go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use the promo code to save 50% on your MyPillow 2.0. Not only that, for a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free.
You're sleeping even better.
And cooler, too.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
Go to mypillow.com and use promo code Lance to save big on all of Mike's best products. That's promo code Lance.
Welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show. Now, right now, I want to say something that just drives me crazy. You realize America's hanging on the balance of precipice of, I'm serious about this, a Great Depression, a complete economic collapse, a hemorrhaging of 10, 15, 20 million military-aged males have invaded our country. And by the way, they haven't been vetted. We've got gangs that are now mobilizing and taking over cities. Crime is soaring. And the only agency that can stop darkness moving with an agenda like that is a God who hears and answers the prayers of his people and a people who are walking close enough with him to restrain the darkness. 1 in 3 Christians in America is an opinionated blowhard that doesn't vote. 25 million yakking, talking, texting, and they don't vote. If we could mobilize that 25 million couch potatoes waiting for the rapture, it's all a conspiracy, doesn't matter. If we could just mobilize them, if we can mobilize you, if you're one of them, then you can go from being on the naughty list to the nice list, and God will bless you. I want to talk to Chris Sadler right now, acting CEO of My Faith Votes, an incredibly important organization that is focused maniacally on this one thing, getting Christians engaged, and he's got some exciting breakthrough news you need to hear. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Lance. And I mean, what you're saying is just music to my ears. I am so passionate about, and I'm sure you have friends and I have friends who do not, they talk and complain about what's happening to our country and that we're losing our Christian values and what we grew up on, but then they don't do much about it. They just complain about it. And, you know, our organization, My Faith Votes, our number one focus is to get people out to vote. And it's to inform them on the issues, what's critical. It is to get them to think about that, pray about that, and then go vote. And a lot of the Christians believe, these ones that there's 25 million, 1 out of 3 that aren't voting, they believe that their voice doesn't matter. And that's just not true. That's just not true. We are a group within this country that believe in what this country was founded on and built on. And we have a voice. And if we come together, can you imagine even a percentage of the 25 million Christians that would vote for a platform that is more in line with the Christian values that we have? What kind of impact that would have on the outcome of an election?
I mean,
it's huge.
Oh, come on. I mean, listen, the election is going to be decided by 130,000 votes out of 19 counties in 7 states. And you know as well as I do that we don't need 25 million. If we just had, 250,000 that would hear what's happening. Now, I pray to God in Jesus' name, this broadcast is shared and sent by people watching it right now to the 250,000 that'll hear the call and answer it. And listen, they don't have to go door knocking. They don't have to go be, the rabid guy down annoying people outside the bus station or wherever they think they got to go. Tell them how they could literally, at home, write and touch someone's heart personally from their home, and we'll even help pay for it. Explain the write-in process.
Oh, it's great, and it's one of the many things that we do. But I will tell you, this is one of the strongest pieces of our organization. We have an action partner community, a volunteer community of 15,000 right now. It is growing. Since 2020, it was 3, and we are up to 15,000 now that are getting engaged in a campaign that we call Right Now. It's WRITE, Right Now. And they can actually, they are right now, let me tell you, we have 1 million from very qualified lists that have given us the characteristics of Christians who don't vote. We have a list of over 1 million individuals within the swing states alone. Now, our 15,000 action partners are signing up to Right Now. They're getting letters, and a lot of the letters are templates for them. It's very simple. And we're asking them to write a handwritten note at the bottom and then putting it in an envelope, handwriting it to that individual. The list we're sending them are individuals, their names, their address, and communicating with them. And this is a Christian reaching out to a Christian. Now, one of my hopes, and in our visit today, we need more than 15,000. And it's easy to sign up to do this. And as you said, Lance, this is something that can be done literally sitting at home. Mm-hmm. They sign up, they'll print off the letters, they take the time to write special notes on these letters, put it in an envelope, put a stamp on it, get it in the mail, and we are hitting people directly in these swing states that are not Christians that are not regularly voting. Mm-hmm. It's powerful. If we had time, I've got testimonies. It's amazing what's happened. I think at this point, we are around 350,000 letters that have been written and are already out.
Wow.
And we, like I said, to do.
I actually didn't realize that you're targeting that those Christians that aren't engaged. Mm-hmm. I just thought we're targeting, people that maybe are low propensity voters. But you've actually got some, that's really interesting. I want to, you know what?
In the key counties,
we need to push this, Mercedes. I mean, I personally think, now I'm a little bit Pentecostal, so I really believe that I could even tell my people that they could write, and I'll even give them a couple of samples of what I'm sending and say, because it's prophetic in nature.
Yes, no, I agree with you. I think this is something, because listen, we've done these courage tours. And by the way, we have one coming up in Pennsylvania, September 27th, the 28th, thecouragetour.com. My Faith Votes is one of our partners that regularly speaks there. And one of the biggest feedback is, I'm like, hey, you can do door knocking, you can do phone calls. Some of that's intimidating for people. But do you know what you can do? You can sit at home and write letters and send them to low propensity Christian voters and encourage them and exhort them. Your voice matters. Your vote matters. You need to sow the seed of your vote into the soil of America and save this nation. And before I finish my little rant, I want to remind everybody at home, Arizona was lost by 10,457 votes. Georgia was lost by 12,670 votes. And Wisconsin was lost by 20,682 votes in the 2020 election. These are the size of mega churches. This is a couple of Sunday services for some churches in these key states. I'm telling you, Christians, to Chris's point, to Lance's point, if we decided to get engaged, if we actually started to believe that if we voted, things would shift, nations would change, laws would be moved, we would have the mind of Christ, the will of Christ all across this nation. We wouldn't be living with the chaos we're in right now. So I'm telling you, it matters. What Chris is doing matters. So please get engaged. That's my exhortation.
Where do they go? Okay, so tell us, Chris, I've got, who knows, 100,000 people watching right now. Where do they go?
So they're going to go to, there's a couple different ways, but the easiest way is Right Now. And again, it's WRITE, Right Now. 2024.org, and it's going to take them right to our subpage on the website and give them all the explanation as to how they need to do this. I strongly recommend they sign up as an action partner because we want them to get engaged. To your point about being able to do this without door knocking, we want them to get involved with a lot of things that our action partners are doing. But this one right now, the Right Now, can really have impact in a very short period of time. I often reference that we are at a state in our country that Christians, we are at battle. And I'm sick and tired of Christians sitting on the sideline and not doing anything. We've been called to be warriors. Ephesians 6:10-20 talks about putting on the armor of God. And I'll have people tell me, well, I'm just not that bold. I'm just not somebody that can get out there and, like you said, knock on doors or talk about this openly. Well, that doesn't mean just because you're on the front line that you can't be behind the front line doing supporting. And right now is an opportunity for them to do that.
100%.
Now, by the way, you have other techniques and other things that you do. Real quick, we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Do you guys do any digital stuff, or do you inform people?
Yeah.
Tell me a greater scope of what you guys are engaged with.
Okay, absolutely. We provide digital and media strategies. We do that. We do emails to our regular base. And as people sign up more, they're going to be involved. We are giving out the platforms for the candidates for people to be able. I talked earlier about getting the Christian to think. Well, they've got to have information and resources to think. And so we do digital campaigns. We do social media. We do, action partners like I was speaking about. We have videos. We do speaking engagements. If they go to the myfaithvotes.org website, there are so many resources there for them to see that help us do this. And again, this is what's important about this. Elections are critical, but the bigger picture here is we need to be able to get involved in our local communities and help make a change before we lose the culture that we have lived and enjoyed for so many years. So we have a few resources are listed, and there's several more that you can get into and get involved with My Faith Votes to be a part of it.
Right now, 2024.org. Mercedes?
I was going to say they also have great prayer guides. So I know there's a lot of intercessors out there, and sometimes you're like, well, I'm not sure how to pray for the nation or what I should be praying. They've got great prayer resources. And I just want to also say, like what Chris is talking about, when he says think, it's thinking and understanding these cultural issues from the biblical worldview. So what does the Bible have to say about, taxation? What does the Bible have to say about selecting judges? Sometimes we know our abortion talking points and maybe a couple other things, but what does the Bible have to say about lawlessness? And so there's when he says think, it's what is the mind of Christ about these cultural issues? And then most importantly, all these voting resources. And Chris, do you have things? I know we got 30 seconds left, but do you have things for local churches, for people who maybe want a table in their church, get people registered to vote?
We do. We have materials to send to churches. We have what we call, voter registration Sunday. This year, we're going to kind of spread that out over more than one Sunday. But we send those materials to the churches, and they're able to then talk with their congregations about how important not only just to register if you aren't, but how to get out and vote.
Chris Sadler, thank you very much for being on. We're going to have you back again. Don't forget thecouragetour.com, which is going to be 27th and 28th, 16 miles from the attempted assassination attempt on Trump's life at Butler. We're going to be in the Pittsburgh area. It's going to be powerful, and we're going to be talking more about this while we're there for an evening and a day. Oh, boy, I can't believe the show is actually over right now. This is the end of this segment. I'm going to be picking this conversation up again tomorrow. By the way, don't forget to go to thecouragetour.com for the final event in the swing state of Pennsylvania, thecouragetour.com. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
America is under a spirit of delusion.
America has abandoned God.
Women are being used as pawns, which is exactly what the left does.
We had given the keys to our church to the government and said, government, you run this church. You make the decisions for me.
When we vacate the public square and leave that to chance, something fills the void.
When liberty hangs in the balance, and your children, your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews come to you and they say, where were you when tyranny knocked on our door? What are you going to tell them?
What's it actually going to take? Seriously, what kind of trigger point will cause the church just to come out of this zombie stupor and say, okay, that's it, I've had it?
The church shouldn't be in a bunker waiting on the rapture, but ought to be invading the mountains of influence for the glory of God.
We have to save our nation. We have to save our children.
We don't have the luxury of disunity. I don't have to agree with you on everything. We need to fight for this nation together. Together.
Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the absence of allowing fear to dictate the outcome.
My job for all of you is to find the unfinished assignment, because America is too young to die.
Fighting for liberty and freedom is difficult. It is hard. Choose your heart.
Where the mothers will suddenly see and perceive the organized threat against their little boys and their little girls, and that they will rise up.
Because you've got a nation to save. You've got grandchildren to save.
This is for the states we're going to. It's for the souls that are coming in.
And this courage tour is so important because we must stand. We must move into the public square.
And I heard the Lord say this over you tonight. Oh, we say now, you haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen anything yet. And just you wait, this is just the beginning.
Liberty and freedom are not free. Every veteran understands this. It requires a very significant level of sacrifice. What legacy are you willing to leave behind for the next generation?
Register today at thecouragetour.com. All seats are free. Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world.